Hello everyone, welcome back. This is episode 7 of my Tech World 2 build. And today I've got a few things to show you. Oh wow, I just hit level 60. Standing here, I've got all my alvearies are populated mostly now with tin bees because I actually ran out of tin. Why'd I run out of tin, you ask? Well, let me show you something. I'll show you in a moment. First of all, we'll have a look. This is my ME system here. I'm not sure how much I showed you of this little bee area, but I've got some bees. These are the different species I've got running now. The monastic are outside. They're the ones making all the flowers around here for dye. Now, I don't think I showed you the walkway I've made out here. There's a spot that Ian Robson made out for my train. The rails going by, a little siding over here, or a little stop. This was when I was building this was my old rotary craft base that I've pretty much flattened and got rid of. Look at all those flowers. Now that's an 11 by 11 area that this one little apiary right here with the monastic bees in it is doing all this. Busy little bees. Now I kept running out of oak wood, or running low on it, so I put a DSU in here to capture all the saplings, because most of the saplings are going back to my base. They're going into this chest, and then some were going over to the planter, and most were going into this tesseract. So now they all go into here. Then into the planter. I do need to set something up here. I'm going to probably be getting into more bee stuff again soon. So when I do, I'll need a farm here to get the fertilizer going. So what I'll do there is probably have a little sheep farm or something with the sewers underneath to catch the goop and compost it into industrial fertilizer. Alright, well, let's take a little walk down the road here and we'll go and see what's new over in the base. Okay, I was going to hit my super speed here. Now, you've probably seen me pop this screen up a few times, and the reason why is because every time I restart my client, I have to open this screen again to get this to work. So when you click New, you can actually, this is for the power armor, you can you press the K key and that brings up this interface, and then you can assign hotkeys and then link the hotkeys to the buttons. So you'll see, like, there's the night vision, I put the N. This is the magnet that pulls stuff towards me, that's V as in Victor. This is my flight computer, it allows me to hover and stuff, that's the C, and then the J is for going up and down stairs, well, upstairs. Now the reason I have that one on a hotkey is it's kind of annoying when I'm trying to leg spike, must be getting close to my house. When I'm trying to build something, and what that does is, as you can see, if I hit, see when I can go up one without having to jump. It's called step assist. But if I was going along building here, I would keep bumping up here. If I was trying to place a row of sugar cane or whatever, I go along doing it. It just makes it kind of hard to control. Alright, my extractor is gone. Where'd it go? You'll see. Clean things out a bit. I had a whole pile of redstone, so I just filled this crystal chest to get the cinnabar from it to use with ferrous ore to get shiny ingots. Lots of stuff. Processing. The propolis gives me resin, which I then make into rubber using the induction furnace. I built the smelter. I think I showed that in the last episode. I'm not sure if I showed you this before. This is the ender chest, and this doesn't have the whole ender chest mod in it, so all this is vanilla. So I put my stuff in there, and then I made an ender backpack, so all the stuff you see in here I can access on the fly. Makes it pretty handy. So I imagine this is where I'm making my frames. I'm going to strip all this out, and I'll probably leave this stuff, the equipment in here, so I do very little with the bee stuff there, so I'll leave it here. But processing the chestnuts for the seed oil, I'll have to move that into a new spot. as well as processing the oak wood at the carpenter into impregnated sticks for my frames. All that stuff's gonna get moved. The reactor I am very quickly phasing out. I don't really have much use. It runs the stuff here in my base, but very little. I mean, now that the extractor's gone, I'm probably only using a couple hundred RF a tick. What did I go with instead? Well, 4 wind turbines, look at those. So, you might have noticed last episode I had HV transformers up here. They're right here. That was incorrect. That wasn't doing anything for me except limiting it to a single 512 packet, I think. I can't remember how I had them set up. So what I did is made EV transformers. What that does is takes this, which is 2K, and steps it down to 512. 4 512 packets. Each one puts that out, so what's that? 8 on this side, 8 on the other side, so that's 16 packets go down the cable here. 16 packets of high voltage. They go down, 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 all the way down into the MFEs in there, and then of course goes up from there back into the base to power it all. So I made 2 more mining bores because I kept running out of tin making all those windmills. So I needed my mining bores are down like level 10 and they handle 10 to 15, layer 10 to 15. So I needed something higher up. So I drilled straight up from where my mining bores are. I'll show you that in a minute. And then at level 40 I put the 2 mining bores on that same chunk, so I didn't have to generate any new chunks. So now I've got lots of Certus and copper and tin from that. So I now actually have 4 enchanted mining bores going. They all have Silk Touch and Efficiency 5. Basically, the Efficiency 5 makes them work a little faster, which means, well, a lot faster, which means you'll get further on one bucket of fuel. So anyway, to do that, I had to make Silk Touch books. Well, geez, I sat there in front of the MFR machines. Must have been an hour before I decided that was enough of that, because by that point I'd only had the 1 book. So I used the Bibliocraft stuff. So I had to look that up. I've never used that before. So you make a little doohickey that goes in the thingamajig. So, well, that's not a very good description. But anyway, you put it in here, and then you just put a book here, and it makes a plate. Then you put the plate over here in the printing press. Okay, you don't put the books there. It was paper. You put paper in there, and anyway, so it makes a plate. Then you put the plate in the printing press with ink in the top and blank books, you know, the blank vanilla books here, and then this thing goes churning like crazy and makes an enchanted book. Now, that sounds well and good, but holy crap, the Silk Touch book, the Silk Touch plate costs 40 levels. That's why I've got 60 now. It's because I had to actually do a lot of AFKing at my B area. So anyway, I made some books. You can see all these bookshelves are full of just crappy books that I got before, but now I can copy them. So I now have a copy of Silk Touch and Efficiency 5, so if I need more mining bores I can copy the books pretty easily. Trying myself out here. So I don't know if you noticed what I went for here with the deep storage unit. If you've ever seen like The Matrix or Hackers, I think both of those movies had where they show kind of a virtual, you're going through a computer and you see these big stacks of storage stacks. That's kind of what I went for here. Anyway, I'm pretty impressed with it. Every time I see this, I'm like, ooh, that looks good. Yeah, I'm easily amused. Quick look at the system so you can see what I got for crap. Just hit 4 million stone today. My mining bores aren't running right now. I got them shut down trying to catch up on the ore. So let me see. I'll scroll slowly through this, and you can pause if you want to look more closely. Oops, calcite. Forgot to avoid that. Stick that down there so I'll remember to get rid of that one. Nickel flakes. Why aren't you producing? Take care of that. Lots of crap. Okay, what else have we been doing? Well, let's head upstairs and have a looky. Now, one thing I don't think I showed very well was how to automate these IC2 machines. Well, let me see. Why don't I back this up? First, well, we'll look in here. You'll see these are the plates. So let's grab this bronze plate. See, it's not really a plate. It's a pattern. So what I had to do this, if you put this in here, you can actually edit this, because I could change it and then encode it again. But what I had to do is actually take the Tinker's alloy, place it here, the actual ingot, because sometimes NEI doesn't work very well doing this. And then I had to place a bronze plate here and encode it manually. And instead of, right now, if I took that blank pattern, or the bronze plate pattern, and I threw it in my ME system, I actually have an export bus on my molecular assembly chamber. It would export it into there, into the pages in there, and then I could craft it here, except it wouldn't work because that's not the way that one works. So what we would do is then, that's why we have the ME interface. You see I put the arrow on it, so it says, hey stupid, use this, because before it was dumping them up above. Alright, so when I say, hey, I want a bronze plate, it's to the crafting system. See, if I click, craft, and then I click however many numbers, do 10. It says, okay, well, I'll dump 10 ingots in there because that's what the pattern showed, and then they go in there and zip, 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 they're done. Over here, you'll notice the levers on the front of these. I might have shown you guys some of this before, but I'll just zip through it again. The levers on the front keep the induction furnaces, they keep using a little bit of power when they're idle, and it keeps them hot. See how it says 100% heat, but look at this stuff when it goes through here. Now remember I mentioned the nickel flakes? Well, that's not processing properly, so there, now it's pulling it from the ME system and cooking up the nickel ingot. Okay, extractor, I've got this. I set it up for the sticky resin, so anytime any sticky resin, remember I showed you the propolis, I was using the centrifuge to get the resin out. And as soon as the resin gets into the system, it automatically dumps it into the extractor, where it is made into rubber, the little black rubber balls. It actually will make 3 from one resin. If you cook the resin, you only get 1, so it's a way better way of doing it. Macerator stuff. Now, one problem I had continuously was when I wanted to make, say, a Lapotron crystal. Let's look at that in the NEI. What do you see here that could be a problem when you craft? Well, I'll save you shaking your head. You see this energy crystal? You don't fill the... See, it shows it's empty. It says 0.101 million EU, but it doesn't have the little green bar under, or the little, the bar that says how much power is in it. See the difference here, where it's an empty looking blue one and then a full blue one? Well, this, in order for this recipe to work properly, it needs to craft one of these. Well, it can't craft one of those. It has to craft an empty one. So what was happening was, when the Energem, let's just back up here. When you put this dust in the compressor, see, it makes one of these. See, look at the number 3241 .27:27, to use the right words. So see, it's not the same number. So you actually, what you need to do is, if you made this from the NEI, it will never ever work. So you have to then edit the pattern and manually put in this empty crystal. And of course I have to strip my power armor off because I have a solar helmet, and starts charging the thing, and then it won't give you the right ID, because as soon as it starts to charge, the 27 will start counting down on the side to show that it's going to charge. So a full one would be 3241, I think. Backspace to back up there. Yeah, see, 3241 is when it's full. So anyway, that was, oh boy, that was such a pain to figure out. So hopefully, if you're having that problem, hopefully my explanation will help. And if you're not doing this sort of thing, then you probably either skipped or you're just saying blah blah blah, move on, hitman. So I'll move on anyway. Wow, busy room. Well, let's take this one at a time. Showed you this stuff before, you know, puts in the gold grains that I get from the bee combs that I'm processing in a centrifuge, and then makes them in the dust. Then the dust automatically goes to the induction smelter, and then I get an ingot. But here, these are extractors. I'll get to them in a second. They are producing the flakes, and then the flakes get cooked in the induction smelter, which mostly gives you IC2, or sorry, the rotary craft ingot. So then what I do is I take, see how it says rotary craft in blue? That's where it shows the mod. I take those and I make them in the lead blocks. See, it's an industrial craft 2 block. So it takes 9 of these, it pulls them automatically from the system. You'll see this going up as the lead processes. And then once, you know, it gets 2 on every one of these, it'll produce a lead block, which then gets pulled out through the item duct into this one, where the lead block is then processed to make the lead ingots. So what I'm doing is actually converting all my rotary craft ingots to IC2 ingots, except for silver, which is a little different, goes to factorization ingots. Like so, see? And silver is a little funny because there are actually 2 silver ingots from rotary craft. Why? I don't know. Geez, all these freaking mods making their own stuff, but oh well, that's the way it is. Yeah, see? There's another rotary craft silver ingot. So, yeah, for some reason, I think one is a byproduct of something else. I can't remember what. Anyway, so that makes them into the factorization blocks, which are then broken down here into the ingots. Now, the reason I've done that is because then I can put the ingots into the deep storage units without having, you know, needing one for IC2 ingots, one for factorization ingots, one for each of the rotary. Like, I'd need four DSUs, deep storage units, to store the 4 different kinds of ingots. So this way I break them all into one type. Now here's the rotary craft Certus quartz. Holy crap, look how slow that is. I think it's actually producing faster, so eventually it'll catch up. Assuming I don't mine more of it right now. But so what that's doing is taking the Certus quartz gem that rotary craft makes and converting it into the Certus quartz from AE. See what a pain in the butt that is? But that's how you solve the problem. Alrighty, so look at this work of art. Man, you wouldn't believe the problems I had getting this set up, but it worked out. So what I've done here is, we can't really see it, but on the outside corner of this is the power running down from the windmills up above. Oops, gonna paint that. Missed it. And so that's like, what was it? 16 packets of 512 EU a tick. So under here, you can't see it, but what I did was make a transformer that will take 4 of those packets and convert it into 1 extreme voltage packet. So it takes 4 512 EU packets and makes it into 1 2048 EU packet. So the reason I did that, you see here it says East IC2 EV extreme voltage, and so it's running about 2000 EU a tick. And then it's outputting 6000 RF a tick. And then, so that's outputting into this resonant energy cell. Now, this is actually, the reason it's outputting 6000 is because that's exactly how much these are using. Remember before when I said that this used 750 RF a tick when I was running on the reactor? So if you do the math, that is 6000, because there's 8 of them there. And then they go to these CVT. I can't remember what CVT stands for. Something variable transmission, I think. So as you add belts, it allows you to increase the belt ratio. You just click in there and put the number. So we're using belt ratio 4 with a speed boost. It uses 1 bucket of lubricant, which is never consumed. Now you see it's running at 2000 nm, 2000 rads, and that's the power, 4 megawatt. So by using the 4 for speed, you're actually dividing the torque by 4 down to 512 Nm and boosting the speed up to 8,000 rads per second. Through the bevel gear because the extractor takes power from below. And as you can see, if you look in here, I think I showed you this all before, but oh well, we'll go over it again. 512 Nm is the max that you'll need to, like the minimum to process all 4 stages, and 8,000 radians per second. So we just meet the minimum in this setup, which is fine. I mean, that's why I made 8 of them. As the show says, 8 is enough. So here we go. Losing my voice here. Just had a sip. Okay, so we're using the precision export bus to send the iron ore. I could boost that to a stack, but it doesn't really matter. So it brings it in here, and then it goes through the 4 stages, and then outputs through the import bus on the top here, you see, back to the ME system. The fluid duct, there's the tesseract bringing in the water to all these. So as you can see, some of them I had to put 2 in, so hopefully it'll process these fast enough that it'll require tweaking as I figure out. Basically I have to look at the spawn rate of the ores, or not the spawn rate, but the collection rate with 4 mining bores going. I can say, oh, well, this one's always idle because it hardly gets any diamond or certus, then I'll probably put something else like gold or something with it. I'll just show you all these. Now you'll notice, well maybe you won't, but I don't have coal or redstone in here yet. Just the sheer amount of ore I've got. It'll be a while before I can process that, so whichever one runs out first will be the one that gets the redstone or coal next. So let's give you an idea. Look at all that iridium. The only use for it I have is, well, I'm not making quantum armor, so the only use I really have is the iridium rotor blades. So it takes 16 of these to make one of those rotor blades, which never wears out. But as you can see, the numbers are slowly going down. At some point, hello? Oh, I guess I need to process the lapis ore flakes. I'll add that in. So, yeah, now I've got some tin ore. Yeah, I wasn't getting tin ore, copper ore, or certus ore, or the sulfur ore, which I can use for making other stuff. I forget what I've got in the system already. But anyway, those were all at a higher level than where I am with the first 2 borers. So let's go have a look at those borers. I'll pause till I get there just because this will be a little bit of a laggy journey, I think. Oh, I just popped upstairs 1 level. I don't know if I showed you this already, the molecular assembly chamber. You click on it, see it says 8 pages. And then, oh yeah, that's right, because I was corrected on my math there. It's late again, so I won't do math this time. How about that? But you can see all the patterns when they go in there. It actually, instead of showing you the picture of the pattern, it actually shows you what is in the pattern. So you can see I've almost filled 2 of those 8 pages already. Neat, eh? Alright, now I'll pause it till I get to where I need to go. Alright, here I am back again. Look at this huge area mined out. That's down about 2,500 blocks away. It's emptied. So what I've done is, you'll see I haven't really mined things out. That's other people who have just started on the server. I will, say, hey, go ahead and run down there and mine your hearts out, because I can't be bothered, and it's nice and easy and fairly safe. Now, you can't see the mining, what do you call them? The mining pipes behind, I've covered them up. So just gotta be careful. I don't want to punch one. That goes down there a long way. Like, I don't know how many thousands of blocks away. So to remove that, I would just punch it. So here we've got the mining bores. I've got two of them. One right here in front of the dynamometer. See, silk touch and efficiency 5 on it. Another one in there, and then they output, let's see if you can see, into the this filter. This is the transfer pipe filter from extra utilities. Then I put an item filter in here, and so you can see all the stuff it filters out. Now the stuff that filters out, it goes down to this trash can, which, wow. I was trying to use a void chest and it simply would not keep up even the one mining bore, and now I've got 4 going here. This stuff goes into the trash can. Now, I showed you 2. The other 2, I just today covered all this in stone so that if somebody accidentally punched out the mining pipe, I wouldn't have a bunch of mobs running around here because that would be a real pain. So, let us go upstairs, or not upstairs, but up and have a looky there. Whoops, fall down the hole again. I just used diamond gears here instead of bedrock gears. It's cheaper. It's not like I don't have any diamonds. So just put in a single bucket of lubricant. Doesn't consume it. You can see if you're doing this yourself, you put that in an 8-to-1 gearbox in torque mode. To change between speed and torque, you shift right click it with a screwdriver. And there's my fuel-powered engine. You can see I've got 1.8 buckets in there still. Jeez, that should have been more than that. I must have run it. Huh, forgot. Anyway, so yeah, and then it just puts to these chests and then goes down and hooks into the filtering system I already had set up. Okay, there we go. There's the numbers in case you're curious. 524 kilowatts, 8 kilonewtons I guess you'd call it, and 64 radians per second. So really slow speed but tons of torque. I just turned it off again. I'm using the engine controller underneath, which means you can't pipe fuel into this, so I have to do it manually with bucket. But it's worth it to be able to turn the thing off. Okay, so there we go. 4 mining bores. Busy bores. Why is that still making noise? Glitch, I guess. Okay, anyway, I think that is probably all I've got for you for now. What I'm working on now is getting the rest of my forestry machines that I actually need to keep going with, like some of the centrifuges, and I need some carpenters going to make. I want to basically streamline the bee frames so that I can just keep getting those bees going. Though I think I'll probably knock back the number of strains I have because I don't need that much stuff, and I need to automate my MFR farm, the wheat farm, better. What else do I have on the go? Just some more automation. I don't have anything big planned right now, so if you got suggestions or ideas, or hey, I want to see this, or how did you do this, just drop a comment and I will read it and reply to it. So yeah, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.